the biggest probably statement was the Rams finding a way to win. Kudos to the Rams, man, and Sean McVay and Matt Stafford. It's like you can't kill these guys. They really are. They're going to go out together like Bonnie and Clyde, these two, because there's no business that this team has winning this game. I mean, just organizationally, hats off to the Rams, because you're down all these offensive linemen, you're down receivers, you're down – I mean, it's the walking wounded. And with the Niners, you've kind of gotten accustomed to them figuring it out. I mean, like, you can't do Debo, Trent, and McCaffrey down at the same time. You can't go through what you went through last year.
And
yeah,
Kittle
but I'm talking about last year when they dropped that game to Minnesota and they looked like shit against Cincinnati. Like, they're going to have those spells, but for the most part, they should be able to overcome the loss of one or even two of these guys because of the quality of their roster. The fact that the Rams were able to move the ball, I think, is the biggest troubling thing if you're a Niners fan, where it's like, damn, these guys really moved the ball on us with a bunch of backup offensive linemen and guys outside that they're not throwing to most of the time. So I'm so impressed with them. And the Niners, this is a tough one. When we said coming in this season, I picked the Seahawks to win the West. Okay, I'm still not feeling good about that. But I picked them to win the West based on a regression. And the regression for me is when you have a camp like San Francisco had. I don't care how good they looked week one. They've had some injuries. Christian McCaffrey thing is starting to be an issue. There were a lot of people week one that was like, don't be sensationalist about this thing. He's always had Achilles tendonitis.
You see the newest
What is
thing?
the newest thing?
Someone took a picture of him at the airport.
In a boot.
No, he's heading to Germany.
Getting some stem cell.
Yeah,
That's the assumption.
And that can help, but like just the fact that he's going there, and maybe he does this every year, but you worry about them without McCaffrey. It's easy to put in Jordan Mason, against the Jets who couldn't stop a cold, but like if you're going to do this over and over again, and then you're going to lose Kittle, the other guys that they have down, it's just Trent Williams went down in the fourth quarter for a second. I know he re-entered the game, but like if you lose that guy at some point, I'm not saying it's over for them. They're a damn good football team. They got a damn good quarterback. But there's a lot of injuries that pile up for this team. And also, you haven't even seen Pearsall play. Ayuk doesn't look right. Like, he just has not found his way yet.
Drops.
They don't look
Jennings, though.
Jennings
look great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's interesting because these are two, I'm a little disappointed because I feel like the NFC West is a great division on paper, and I feel like we've been robbed of like some really good football offensively, especially just because of these frustrating injuries.
Yeah.
But like this ended up being a good game, man. But like you said it, you feel like Stafford is just like the grittiness, the toughness from him, just figuring out how to get it done. Like these kind of wins earlier in the season are going to pay dividends for the Rams later in the season when hopefully they get healthier.
And McVay willing to change his system. Like he went 12 personnel almost 50% of the time,
which is
they never do really.
And
yeah, but they still ran their same offense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
which is so impressive to me.
Well, what's
like,
impressive about
like,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, Beau.
Like I'm just saying, like you have like your versatile pieces and Cooper and Puka Nacua, who's like, dude, Chris, how good of a guy is he?
He's just a fucking mensch, dude. I just wanted to play football on his team when we met him.
Dude, I just want to hang out with him. But
he's the man.
You have those guys that are down, and then you plug in your tight ends in very similar roles. It's super impressive coaching. And like kind of what I said a couple of weeks ago when they're playing the Lions on Sunday Night Football, the fact that they're still running their offense just with like a plug and play kind of roster, you know what I mean, is really impressive to me. It just shows me that like everyone's bought into their offensive scheme.
They did a great job changing their offense from when Todd Gurley was the guy. They got to the same kind of rhythm with a different running back last year and a different kind of system, different play action off of the run game, different run schemes. Like Todd Gurley was different, right? So I think McVay's always been good at hitting the curveball. I just didn't know that he'd be able to pull this off. And for the Niners, you think you're a shoo-in to win the division, and there's still reason to believe that they're by far the best team in the division. But if they're not at full strength, and you're replacing different guys week to week. All of a sudden, you got 2 games left against the Cardinals. Well, those games look like gimmies on paper, but now this team's kind of fun. And then Seattle, like, I don't know, they've had Seattle's number in spots, like, but right now nothing looks automatic. And the Rams, you just lost to them. So all of a sudden, you're fighting for your life to make sure that you win the division. You're 1-2. That's just not how you draw it up coming out of the gate. And there's a lot of question marks still. I'm not a Niners hater. If you have any kind of long-term memory, I'm the guy the last few years that put them right where they were when people were writing them off. But it's time at this point to at least wonder about selling high. Like, I'm not saying they need to sell, but as an analyst, I looked at them coming in and I'm like, it just feels like, man, for them to do this year. And it's also so tiring to be them. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so tiresome to get there, whether it was Jimmy G or Brock Purdy, and like, you're playing these full seasons without the payoff. And so keeping guys locked in, keeping them healthy. They've played a lot more games than anybody else in the division over the past 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. If you add them up, they played almost a full season compared to other teams in their division. So this team is aging quicker than other teams are. Mm-hmm. The Patriots always impressed me because they were able to stick the landing, and guys played so much extra football. But now, like, the Niners have to, like, this is the hard part of getting there and staying there. This is tough sledding. And, hey, great coaches in both these organizations. They'll both figure it out. But this is a tough loss for them, because just for the simple fact of the math, you need them all if you want to get home field, if you want to win the division, which looks tougher.
And it's the 5th time Shanahan has dropped a 10-point lead in the 4th quarter, and 2 of those were in the Super Bowl. They also could have won the game if Moody just makes that field goal.
No question.
Which was a 3rd-round draft.
Yeah, you drafted the guy, and it's been a couple times now where it's like, hey, you drafted the guy. So, anyways, I hope you don't think we're being unfair to the Niners fans in the chat. But anyways, somebody said I never saw Purdy take over a game. I just want to defend him. I think he's a good quarterback, man. I think he's really good. And, he impresses me when people are down, like some of the things he's able to do. But
he's just not going to get Employee of the Month this month.
Somebody said the 49ers are in the same boat as the Cowboys. Nah. I don't think that's true. I think the one team's a total pretender, and then the other team, if they're healthy, is scary. But they are not healthy.